thinks, you know the old adage that you are man's best friend. Well, let's not forget here that you're also a woman's best friend. That's why I'm zooming over to Hampstead now to meet up with singer, songwriter and actor Collette Cooper, who has sought inspiration from her Parsons Russell, Billie, along with many other greats like Janis Joplin and Billie Holiday. I'm Anna Webb. Welcome to A Dog's Life. So Collette, it's so lovely to be here on your roof, chatting on A Dog's Life. Welcome.
I know, isn't it great? Isn't our terrace fabulous?
It
Do you love
is.
it?
No, I've been here before.
You've been here before. We're
Yeah,
going to have a party tomorrow as well, you know.
Oh, are you?
We'd love you to come.
Oh, I'd love to come.
Will you come tomorrow?
I think I can.
Yeah, because we just
you've
did it very
invited me a few
spontaneous.
times and I felt really bad. But one time I was driving someone to the airport,
Yeah.
city airport, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously couldn't drink and drive.
No, true.
And then the other time something else was going on, so I couldn't do it. But anyway, you know,
It's good seeing you. Look gorgeous.
Oh, stop it.
That dress, your hair, stunning. You look like Bridget Bardot with that blonde hair and that white dress. Gorgeous. Ignore me, I'm in my Heath clothes. I've just...
Bridget Bardot is actually on the cover of this little book I brought along to show you, because there's a massive link in this book called
really?
Women and
Yeah.
Dogs.
That's
right?
a sign. Yeah.
That this wonderful woman, Judith Watts, put together, who I met at Crufts.
Judith Watts, I haven't...
years ago, 'cause
Yeah.
she had a miniature bull terrier, so she came around Crufts to see the miniature bull terriers in homage of her dog, you know. And we got chatting, obviously, and she obviously met Molly, so it's kind of a massive link. And
Lovely
so
book.
she told me about
What's the book
this
called?
Women and Dogs.
Women
and she
and
did
Dogs.
Men and Dogs as well, so I've got
Right.
both of them. Really lovely. And because here's Janis Joplin.
I know.
And of course you've
A
starred,
great photo in a
yeah,
car.
with
George, her dog.
Yeah, so
beautiful
now
dog.
George, her dog, features in your rendition of being Janis Joplin on the
Yes.
stage, because I'm proud I've followed this. So obviously
Yes.
I suppose we should say that you're my producer's partner.
Yes,
So
yes,
we know
right.
each other quite well already.
Yeah.
But isn't
And he
that lovely?
produced the play as well.
Yeah.
He produced the play, Mike. Yeah. No, that's great. Because in the first, when we were developing the play, last year. Well, when we first did the read through in March 2020, just before lockdown, and that was in development. That was just the read through performance, and the script changed even then from last year, as you know, when we previewed it at the Union Theatre.
I didn't get to that show.
Oh no, sorry. So we
No, I did
previewed it at the
Century Club when we did that
and
special.
the other little pub theatre, because that's when we were developing
Yeah.
it. Because we wanted the audience's reaction as you're writing something, and then finally, because as you know, I've done so much research over the years on Janis, and finally we premiered it this year at the Old Red Lion. And you came to that, and she talks about her dog George.
Yes.
Because George was her best friend. She absolutely loved that dog.
Well, you know, I mean, that's kind of what this book celebrates, really. It's how dogs have influenced great women. You know?
Yeah.
And it's not only Janis, there's Billie Holiday's in here.
Billie Holiday,
with her
another one. I love her
boxer. Yeah.
relationship with her dog.
Yeah. Her poodle was cremated with her.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I'd do that with Billie. Billie would have to be cremated with me. Absolutely.
I know. I'm the same on that.
Yeah.
But it was her boxer who's pictured in this book. Now I can't find it.
It's a great photo. I know that photo well.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Her boxer's got cropped ears. You see,
because they
which
used
is
to-
because they
They
still
used to
do in
that.
America.
They still do. Yeah. I don't like that.
No, we don't like.
I don't
that.
like it with the tails, the ears. I hate.
But it just shows how then, you know, it was kind of considered you know what I mean, normal. You know, almost a cultural thing, which we've come on, you know, so far.
It's a shame they still do that in America. It should be banned, really. You know.
I know, no, totally. I mean, all these amazing. Here we go. There she is.
Yeah, great photo.
So what does it say? She had a number of dogs.
Yes.
There was Moochie, a wirehead terrier,
Yeah.
Raja Ravoy,
Yeah.
a mongrel she gave to her mother, and a standard poodle, whom, when she died, she had cremated in her mink coat.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, Billie is named after Billie Holiday. I know it's a he, but I named Billie after Billie.
No. Well, it's Billie's. I had years ago. I had a
yeah.
little kitten called Billie,
Yeah.
and she was a girl.
Yeah, I named her after. Billie Holiday.
No, so look, there's so anyway.
But the Janis one, no, it's a fantastic photo. I mean, look at her in a car. It was a
It's a real
beetle.
T-bird, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it was a beetle, wasn't it? And she had it all painted, and just amazing. That outfit, that very outfit, you'll recognise from the play.
Yes.
So the play we did.
With your gold sparkly waistcoat.
Well, it was astonishing how we were able to get that waistcoat. I mean, I like to think that it was actually hers, actually. But the outfits, our costume designer, Amanda Newell, did an extraordinary job on the costumes, and she's up for an award for that. She's been nominated for an award. So it did
really well, didn't it? Then
it did amazing.
On and talk more specifically about, but this is all linking to dogs.
It is. I mean, it did so well. We've worked so hard, and it's been through rewrites and all kinds of things. And when we always wanted to premiere it at the Old Red Lion. Because that's the great stepping stone to the West End, the transfer to the West End, because it is a West End show. It's a hit show. It's a hit show. And can I say that, or is it bigging it up too much?
I think it was a hit.
It is a hit show.
From what's happened so far, I read some of the reviews. I mean, it definitely wasn't a flop.
No, you're right. I mean, we've got 5-star reviews all across the board. We're up for 5 awards, but most importantly, the audience, and like yourself, absolutely invested in it. They absolutely loved it, and really threw themselves into the whole immersive feeling, the immersive vibe. And the Old Red Lion is the perfect place to premiere something like that because it's intimate. And from them we've had great interest, and we want to transfer it to the West End next year in a bigger theatre and see what happens. But it was great playing, but as you know, you've seen it, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhilarating.
You put everything into it.
I mean, it's like a marathon every night.
Yeah, I don't know how you
Janis
did it.
Joplin could not play Janis Joplin herself. I say that at every interview now. But Janis Joplin couldn't play Janis Joplin herself. That's how difficult it was. I just had to be so strict with myself. I couldn't speak after the play finished at 9 p.m. until I got to the theatre the next day at 6 or 5:30. I had to do warm-ups. Obviously don't smoke, couldn't drink. I had to be so strict because it's such I mean, I've done one-woman plays before, actually. I've done Strindberg, the Stronger. I've done Talking Heads, the actress, and that is a piece of cake compared to this. I mean, it is just exhilarating.
But also this was kind of your baby because you wrote it.
Yes.
So kind of different, I think, as well.
It is, because I've spent so much time when Mike, the producer, and I came up with the idea back in 2017 even. I started to do research because I didn't know an awful lot about Janis Joplin. I didn't hardly know anything about her.
But I said this to Mike.
Yeah.
Well, Mike's here, didn't I, Mike? We were walking over to Jenny Murray's, actually, as you do, to record a podcast. And I think I'd just been to the play at Camberwell then.
Yeah.
And I said, I think this is genius. I said, because, nobody knows very much about Janis Joplin.
That's right.
It's like...
Not in England,
Yeah, and we all know she died young and it was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
But, there seems a bit of, missing info. And there you go.
Yeah, and the thing is, so when I started, because as you know, I'm a jazz blues. Well, I'm a singer. I hate to say I'm a jazz and blues singer. I'm just somebody who's influenced by that music. I'm just a singer, and I'm influenced by jazz and blues and soul.
And dogs.
And dogs, yeah, absolutely. And
like great.
Yeah, exactly. And I have had a few people in the past over the years saying to me, your energy is very similar to Janis Joplin on stage. You're quite similar. You're in between Janis Joplin and Edith Piaf. And one reviewer said she's Janis Joplin channeling Edith Piaf, something like that. And then this West End producer, who was a good friend of my friend, came to see my show at the 100 Club, and we chatted afterwards. He said, you should do a musical, not a musical, but you should play someone like Janis Joplin. But I'm not doing a musical. I can't bear to do a musical. But this isn't a musical, as you know. It's a play about her life story, set in a Woodstock Vibe festival, and backstage in her dressing room. And it's a play driven by music. It's not a musical. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to look into this, because I want to combine, because I'm an actor,
Yeah.
I want to combine my acting and my singing. So that's a great idea. So I started to do the research when me and Mike sat down, and it was actually when I sat down with Mike and I said, told him what the producer had said, and he said, you should play Janis Joplin. I was like, this is great. So we started talking about the idea, and then got to work on the treatment, started writing it, and we went through, even little things like at the beginning, I brought a lovely guy on board as a comedian actually. Thought, oh, maybe he can come on board and inject some comedy. Ironically, he came on board and injected all this drama, and it was like, in the end, I was like, you know what, there's only one person who can write this, and that's me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just went for my original ideas.
But there are funny moments which are great, but ultimately, you're telling a sad story.
It is a sad story because it's a sad story because she was, she was 27 when she died. And as you know, I'm not 27. But the reason why I can play her, because she was an old soul and she didn't look 27. She looked my age. She looked about 40.
No, I know, but she lived hard.
She lived hard. She was a heavy drinker. She was a heroin addict. She, ultimately died from heroin at 27. And
But she was part of that era, epic,
part of that era.
Epoch.
Absolutely. And she was revolutionary because she came along at a time there was nobody like her. Like they'd say Grace Slick was similar. Not really. Grace Slick, she was amazing. But she was more loose and more free, and she was hippie-ish, but she wasn't like Janis. Janis was so raw, and it was a time when you had people like Sandy Shaw, Dusty Springfield.
Yeah.
She came at a time when you had all those amazing singers, Dusty Springfield being one of them, Sandy Shaw, lots of those amazing singers, but who were very straight. And very controlled,
Lulu,
and very prim and very pretty, and their hair was perfect and their dress was perfect, and they were very still on stage, and they were fabulous in their own right. Then Janis comes along, almost very tomboyish. She comes along and she has this wild hair, no makeup, her clothes are sweaty, her hair's sweaty, and she lets loose, and she has no inhibitions on stage. There's nothing controlled about her. She's raw, and everything she does is so truthful.
Yes,
unlike
exactly.
the artists around her at that time. So she was revolutionary, and she was this amazing energy that,
Yeah, no, I honestly,
has
I think
inspired women today.
And you really give, a piece of history when you go. So it's educational as well, I think, because loads of people don't know anything about jazz, and they'll get less and less, of course.
That's
sadly.
right. And what was great, we had such an eclectic audience, especially in terms of age range. We had people there, 18-year-olds to 70-year-olds. And the younger generation, I spoke to a couple of girls after the show one night, they were 27, and the reason why they came is because Janis is part of that 27 club, along with Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Amy Winehouse.
There was the 3 deaths,
That's
wasn't
right,
it? All,
yeah.
Oh, and Brian Jones.
Yeah, Brian Jones, of course, And then they came for that reason only, and they said, because we wanted, the 27 club, we wanted to know who this artist was. And interesting what they said to me. They said we related so much to her feelings at that time, us being 27, and we didn't know anything about her, we didn't know her name, we didn't know anything, and now they've gone on that night, they've gone on to go on Spotify, they've downloaded her albums, they've bought albums.
You can nowadays,
which is great, we're introducing
have done that 20 years ago.
Exactly, we're introducing her to new audiences, and then you've got, of course, the older crowd, the real, the old Janis Joplin fans who lived that era, loved that era, and then you've got, the middle section, the 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds who kind of know her, didn't know enough about her. Again, they've fallen back in love with her and know the story, and they've gone on a journey.
It's keeping her alive, isn't it?
Keeping her alive, and she should be kept alive because she's incredible, and she had full, as you know, full of insecurities.
Yeah, exactly.
Full of insecurities, which we can all relate to.
Yeah, that drives so much creativity, really.
Yeah.
I mean, from everybody, even the Rolling Stones.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's why her pain is so relatable. That's why
relatable. And also,
it happens to us all.
Of course, and she was heavily bullied at school and at college, as you know, and from the play will tell you that. And also, she was quite ahead of her time in her way of thinking, and she just had a massive heart. She came from a town that was backwards, you know, they had segregation, and she didn't believe in that. She stood up to that. She stood up and said, this is wrong, you're segregating, you know, people for their race, their colour. And she got extremely bullied. She had the, you know, the Ku Klux Klan, young Ku Klux Klan chasing her down the street, as you know. You know,
it was such a different time in history.
But absolutely. Listen, and she bought Bessie Smith's headstone because Bessie Smith was a massive hero and influence. As Bessie Smith is mine, and that was the two things. When I started to do the research on her, I realised we had parallels of we were similar in so many ways. Bessie Smith, and I realised then when people have said to me in the past, "You're similar to Janis Joplin," must because maybe because my influence, we have the same influence, Bessie Smith. And she went on to buy Bessie Smith's headstone because Bessie Smith was without a headstone for 30 years. And because Janis loved her so much and admittedly said, you know, I sing because of her, and I thought that was just beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. So tell me, you know, obviously you'd be beginning by singing to Mike here, you know, going, what do you think of this? You know what I mean? And going through, you know, some of the classic numbers. But actually, we'll talk about the fact you actually wrote a specific song that actually could have been written by Janis, and maybe postulating in the universe out there, it would have been her next hit single.
Yes, and that's how we did it in the, as you know, in the play. And here we go, we're bringing producer Mike back into the conversation now because we wrote
might as well join in, Mike.
we wrote that together. Mike and I wrote that together, and it's the title track of the play. Tomorrow May Be My Last.
Lord, the bad stinking Texans had to fly manifest. Ooh. And so my heart split to Frisco, freedom from my past. Oh yes indeed. Oh mama, all dreams come true, if only in my dreams. Oh yeah. Tomorrow
It is a great little song, and it's had multiple plays on the radio, which has been great, leading up to the play, great advertising. And ironically well, I don't know if it's ironic, but throughout the play, as you know, that is the number that really gets people in the heart. I mean, one night I was singing, and I always recognise there's people in the audience crying, but one night I was singing, and I did nearly laugh. I started singing it, Tomorrow May Be My Last, and this guy, I don't know if it was a guy or a woman, literally started wailing, like, wailing. And I thought, oh my God, I didn't know whether to stop to see if they were okay. And then other people were crying, but they were this person was wailing. And I did have to kind of...
you've done it. That's a success.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. You know,
but it is a very lovely song, and it's about
Billy
her.
Like it?
Billy barks anytime I sing. He jumps up at me, barks. He's like, arr, 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 arr. It's a critic, aren't you, Billy? But then sometimes when he's tired and I pick him up, I do sing to him, and he just stares at me and he falls asleep, and he loves it when I sing little lullabies to him, or I sing little songs, and he does love it. But when I'm singing big numbers, he's like, yeah, singing along. And he's come to rehearsals. He has come to a rehearsal. There was the last time, one and only time, because he he sat on your knee or somebody's knee? He was sat on somebody's knee, and he just wanted to be with me on stage and jumping up, barking. I was like, you can't come to rehearsals.
Well, he's a terrier, you know what I mean? And they can be quite, you know, noise sensitive and hypersensitive. You know, they're alert dogs, you know, they're not, you know, your placid Labrador in the corner. The terrier's there to kind of get the rat, get the mouse, you know, quickly, I'll go down the hole and get the fox. You know what I mean? You know, they're not backwards and coming forward type
you're
dogs.
So right.
That's what they're for, you know, which we were talking about in a podcast with this wonderful woman, Kim Brophy, recently. It's like, you know, sometimes terriers get such a bad rap, but hang on a minute, people, pause. We've created this in our dogs to be the great helpers for us through most part of our history on Earth when we didn't have drains, and we needed terriers to stop us getting bubonic plague by rats that were everywhere. There was nothing, rats were above ground.
That's right, yeah.
So we needed these dogs, so we bred them.
For that reason.
Exactly. So, you can't have a shrinking violet taking on a rat.
No. Although when we're on the heath, and he loves to chase the squirrels, but when he gets to the squirrel, and he doesn't do anything. Same with the birds. He'll chase it, but if the bird is just standing still, he'll just look and then walk away. He's amazing. He's so kind, and he has a little friendship with a crow there, doesn't he? A big blackbird with this big crow, and he plays with Billy. And at one point, the crow's just stationary, and Billy just walked up and they just touched each other's nose.
Wow.
I wish we'd got that on film. It was unbelievable. And then that afternoon, Billy was barking at the back door here on the terrace, barking to come out, let him out. I don't know if it was the same crow. It had to be. There's the crow sitting on the left there.
Funny.
And Billy's wagging his tail and barking, and the crow's just there. Now that has to be the same crow.
Well, I'd say so, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's very interesting. I always say interspecies communication. I mean, when I brought my cat Gremlin in, well, he moved in with us actually, with Molly, my first bull terrier who hated cats, and she was 9 and never lived with a cat, because I actually never wanted to live with a cat particularly either.
Yeah.
But Gremlin had other plans, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which a lot of cats do. So this little kitten, like this big, squeezed through my trellis. Oh, it was such a long story. And they became the best friends, and it was utterly remarkable, to be honest. And it was a perfect foil for Molly, because Gremlin obviously wasn't a dog, which she wouldn't have coped well with another dog at that point in our life to bring in. I did bring another dog in later to play that trump card that you often have to, which is to bring a young dog in to enliven the older dog, with extra enrichment of something else to do even. Naughty puppies being a bit annoying. That means the older dog's got to get up, go, listen, mate, actually in this house we do it like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all keeping them young. No, it's golden. I'll at some point I'll be doing that.
I think so, because
Dinks
love...
is 10 now. I know, totally
Mr.
bonkers.
Dinks does not look 10.
No, I know, actually, in fairness to myself, he
That's the
absolutely
collagen
really
he's getting.
It's the collagen, it's all the food he's had over 8 years, no medication.
No, doesn't need it.
Exactly.
Doesn't need it.
And of course, the raw diet, which I'm so pleased you're feeding Billy now.
We love raw diet. Well, when we first got Billy, he was on a raw diet, actually. He was on, I forgot the name of the actual product.
Doesn't matter.
But anyway, it was a good one. And then we've been through a couple of raw foods, and then we put him onto something else, which that one,
the popular one,
which was great. And also he lost started to lose his fur on his belly, and I just thought that was a seasonal thing,
right?
Because he was really kind of thought, oh look how. When we then put him on Paleo Ridge, which we're ambassadors for, it is the best dog food. I mean, I wouldn't even call it dog food.
Well, I'm amazed that
humans
you
can eat it. Humans can eat it.
We talked for a while about getting Billy onto raw.
Well, you're right, because
and I was determined, because I love you guys, and I also know how much you love Billy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, remember, listen, I've studied I am a canine nutrition. I've fed raw now for 21 years.
Exactly. No, you're right. And
I know that all the scaremongering around it comes out
really
like twice a year, and you've got to think, who paid for that research?
Absolutely. And also, you're right. And you were the one who said, no, guys, come on. And he wasn't on that other dog food for very long. He wasn't.
He's only young anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
How old's Billy?
He's going to be 5 the end of September.
So when did you bring him into your life?
Just before he was 1.
Oh.
Yeah, love him so much. And then all his fur grew back, didn't it? All his fur grew back. And he just has the healthiest diet. That Paleo Ridge is just unbelievable, and I wouldn't even call that dog food, because it's so good. You could eat it, Mike. I mean, you can see how good.
Hang on a minute. It is made from cuts of meat that aren't designed for human consumption.
Like tripe.
That's the whole point of Paleo Ridge, because it's really sustainable. We did an episode with Will. That's why they can kind of justify it, because in this age of veganism,
which I am, but
okay.
But my dog isn't.
Vegetarian.
But my dog isn't vegan, and I would never never
and
enforced
actually,
that on
you know,
him.
farming, it's not the big bad guy, you know, we
Yeah,
need the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And my vet in Shropshire, she
Yeah.
runs an organic dairy farm.
Yeah,
And her land's all organic. It's amazing up there.
Yeah.
And she's obviously a holistic vet and
Yeah.
a normal vet, so
Yeah.
she's like doubly qualified. And, you know, I nearly didn't leave Shropshire because of Barbara.
Right,
But
yeah.
ultimately, a year up there helping my mum, really, it's very near to Wales.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. Yeah.
far from London.
Yeah, no, you need to be in London, and you know, for your work and stuff. And
Well, I
but
know, yeah.
you just do.
But no, paleo, no.
But
I'm so
paleo's
glad,
just
yeah.
fantastic.
And
It is,
we're
oh, I'm
saving
glad,
the
yeah,
planet,
it's just
feeding it.
absolutely.
That's the thing.
It exactly,
is, yeah.
sustainable. And what I mean is, when I say it's not like dog food, it just looks so rich and
I
healthy.
know, exactly,
that
fresh.
If we were all of a sudden in another lockdown and all the shops had closed and there was no
Yes.
food,
I
I
don't
know
think it
Mike
would
could
hurt
eat
us.
that.
It wouldn't
You know,
hurt
yeah,
us.
exactly. And I love they do the berry with the spinach and the bilberries, and you know, and I love the strawberries and ice cream with the kefir yogurt.
That's so lovely. And,
And the duck's necks, he loves them, and the
Yeah.
ribs, and it's just an amazing range. But people have said to me, other vegans, how can you, you know, you're a vegan. I've been a vegan most of my life. How can you do that? You know, and I said, but my dog isn't a vegan. My dog needs his food. He's not a human. He doesn't have the same digestive enzymes as us. You know, I really disagree with people, dog owners, feeding their dogs a vegetarian vegan diet. I just disagree with it.
No, good. Well,
I disagree with it.
that
It's
is
cruel.
so-
It's cruel. We're different species.
It is
It's
cruel.
It's cruel. And I have to go, also, you're right, it's sustainable. It's saving the planet. And also, you know, it's...
But all raw food does. It's not just paleo. You know,
Yeah.
As they all use, you know, I mean, different meats vary a bit, brands and so on. But you know, and it's, you know, it's not a new thing. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
What's new is vegan dog food. You
Yeah.
know, and I really think us humans shouldn't deign to be able to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
It's not our job on this planet.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And also, you know, I really hate the myths that go around with raw food, which is horrendous. You know, the blood makes them angry.
aggressive.
What? Aggressive. Billy doesn't have one aggressive bone in his body, and he's a terrier. You know, he's the kindest dog. Like I just said,
No, that's
he'll go up
his
to the
side.
bird.
Yeah.
No, but he'll go up to birds.
Yeah.
And he's lovely with them.
No, I
They
know.
don't even fly away from him.
But you
oh,
know,
it really annoys me.
Yeah, no, but that's scientifically proven. That's a load of.
It's a load
you
of
know,
rubbish, and you know, and all this kibble's good
But
for
the problem is,
teeth.
there's a lot of people that have taken on dogs, you know, for the first time recently, you know, and they're really, you see, you know, when I'm doing my consults and stuff, I see a lot.
Yeah, I bet you do.
And, you
Must
know,
be frustrating
it's
for you.
terribly depressing.
Oh,
actually,
God, I know.
and draining and all the rest of it.
I
I know. So it's now, you know, so there's a lot of misnomers, and you know, the other thing that frustrates a lot of people is that everyone becomes an expert.
Yes.
You know, and but everyone learns, you know, by their mistakes and the hard way at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And all you can do is try and help.
Well, see, I try. It's very difficult. We obviously on the heath every day. There's a real big community here. We've got lots of friends who have dogs. Who've made friends through having dogs. Billy has lots of, as you know, he has a party every year, and all the 20 dogs come, if more, all his mates. And I'm somebody, I can't tell someone what to feed their dog. I always kind of say, advise in a gentle way, because people will take it in, and you know, they're very, and they believe every word the vet says, or they're hang on every
that's
word.
why I did all my study, you see, so that I am qualified to
that's
speak
right.
about it.
Absolutely.
And it's great. So I'm quite proud at the moment. I am getting the
No,
chance
you're amazing.
to do that now. I did enjoy
You're
being
amazing.
on Jeremy Vine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
speaking up
Yeah.
for raw food
Yeah.
and meat eaters.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
But you know, when you-
the time I took on the Pope's biographer, well, that was that was called being absolutely terrified on the top of the
you're
Big Dipper.
you're brilliant.
Because I didn't know until literally 2 seconds before we went live. I think they didn't tell me on purpose in case I suddenly said I'd got to fly to Australia or something. Do you know what I mean?
No, you're an expert in your field. You're brilliant.
No.
As you know, I only come to you for advice.
I know. And
Always.
which
Always.
is so brilliant, because
It's
you're on the page.
You're
We're
the only
natural.
person I come to.
I know, and I'm glad, because you know,
Go to.
hopefully, you know, Billy won't be having his annual booster jabs now.
Never. Well, he
and all
hasn't.
the
He's
rest
never.
of it.
He's never had one.
No, that's good.
Never. We've never done that, have
But
we?
you're very much on that page as well, aren't you? You know, the natural health for you and for Mike.
Yes,
and then I think it's
Mike
kind of
hates it when I
easy
do that,
to transfer what you do to your dog.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it in a nutshell. But bearing in mind, you know, that their digestive system isn't the same as ours. So you've got to supply, you know, minerals and vitamins as sources that are bioavailable to a carnivore. So like green lip mussel is brilliant for joints because
do you know what?
it's
We
an
haven't
animal,
got that. We need to get that.
Oh yeah, no,
lip
listen,
mussel.
oh my God, I gave Gremlin, my cat, some this morning. He has it
I give
every
him
day.
turmeric as well.
Which is brilliant, that is anti-inflammatory, but I would use the both. Because they
he has
work
the
in
collagen
different
powder,
ways.
green lip mussel.
Yeah,
Gotta get
collagen's
it.
great because that's an animal source.
Yeah.
You see, but also green lip mussel is quite rare as a superpower for chondroitin and glucosamine.
Okay.
But from an animal source.
Okay.
From the muscle, you know,
we
the
need
mole in the air.
I'll message me later where to get that.
Yeah.
Where can we get that from?
Well, actually, there's a really good brand that many years ago I launched, actually.
Yeah.
Called You Move.
Yeah.
So Molly, my first miniature bull terrier, actually went on the first run of it. Can you believe that? And
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's very good. That's easily accessible.
Okay.
Gremlin's on You Move Cat at the minute.
Okay.
Yeah. But I actually give that to Binks as well because
Okay.
it all costs money. All these supplements.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
do,
other
they
thing.
do, they
to
do,
be
they
honest,
do.
you
So
know.
they're
So
bill
it's
is
a
expensive.
luxury to be able. No, I think we should mention this. To remind people thinking about getting a dog. Particularly because, I mean, at the moment the RSPCA is speaking out, you know, the soaring cost of living, they are seeing a lot more pets being abandoned, like everything from rabbits.
Can't bear it. Can't bear it.
You know, and I think that's going to be the final kind of almost nail in the coffin to some of these pandemic puppies that haven't been for the long haul yet. Do you know what I mean? Things are tricky. They can't afford the daycare while they go to the office for 2 days a week. You know, all of this. It's
awful.
So I think we're living in scary times for dogs. I mean, I think actually the vista of dogs has changed so dramatically in the last, you know,
I'd have
years.
a farm of dogs. I would have a farm of dogs.
But and I think so you know they are expensive and you have to make sacrifices, I think, when you have a dog.
No, totally. I think we do, don't we?
But tell me, listen, am I right? Because I learned something the other day, but that I didn't know. So anyway,
Go on.
Did you go out with Nick Grimshaw?
You've got to keep this in. Yeah, we're not. Grimmy will love this. Grimmy is one of my best pals. One of my best pals. He's also gay and has a lovely.
Is he?
He's also gay and has a gorgeous fiance called Mish. I love that. Me and Grimmy went out together.
Oh, I'm so hopeless. I don't know.
Do you know what?
I mean, I didn't even recognise Johnny Depp when he recognised me. So there is no hope.
Well, okay. He was my gay husband.
Yeah, great. They're the
gay
best.
husband before I met Mike. Now Mike's my gay husband, and he's got a gorgeous fiance called Mish.
But you had a
I
Jack
love
Russell.
that. Well, we did. We kind of shared a dog. We had a lovely little dog called Poppy. We did. We shared that dog, you know,
Aww.
and she was beautiful. She was a rescue, but she died, and it was heartbreaking. Yeah, she just died. She had a defect.
Oh no.
It's a heart defect, and both Grim and I were just devastated. I mean, devastated.
I mean, this is obviously the flip side.
And Grimmy, you know, got me a lovely present actually, framed. I've obviously still got it. It's beautiful frame with her first collar. She had a pink collar, and I've got that. And he has her ashes. He's got her ashes that are made into a paperweight.
Has he got another dog now?
He's got 2 dogs.
Has he?
Yeah, Piggy and Stinky are gorgeous. Both.
What are they? What great names. They're not pugs, are they?
Actually, Stinky is half pug and half Jack Russell. Gorgeous dog. Isn't Stinky just gorgeous? Mike just fell in love with him, as I did. I mean, I've known him since he was a little in my hand. And Stinky and Pig is female, and she's a rescue dog, and she's bull terrier. She's a bull terrier with. Always confused. Is she a bull terrier? You'll know the
Probably
breed.
is if she's called Piggy. A lot of them are
But
called
white.
Piggy.
She's quite big. She's half bull terrier with something else. British bull terrier, I think.
Well, no, it's an English bull terrier. That's what
English
what
bull-
Prudence is.
Oh no. She's not a British bull terrier. No, she's got Staffy in her. Definitely. she's got staff in her.
They're very similar, the Staff and the Bull Terrier. They're from the same.
And she's just got a beautiful.
Crosses.
They're beautiful natured dogs.
No, lovely. No. But it was puppy then that began to turn you, because weren't you xenophobic as a kid?
No, I've grown up with dogs. We've had all kinds of dogs.
No, I've got that wrong.
No, so basically, I've had cats and dogs. When I was a kid, I had every animal going, even including a pet rat that my whole family hated, obviously, and that rat went missing. Obviously,
they're so bright, rats.
They got rid of it, obviously, because
they can make great pets.
I loved it. I had a pet newt, rat, cat.
So did
hamster.
I with newt. I called him Donny.
Yeah, I loved animals growing up.
He was so ugly. Yeah, he didn't look like Donny Osmond.
Yeah,
at all.
I found my newt in the back field in a little pond, and I took him home. I had frogs because where we lived, we had big fields, which was amazing. I loved animals. So we've had huskies. I had a husky, collie, Labrador. Little mutts, but when I say mutt, what do you call them? Mongrels. I don't know why I said that. Sorry, mongrels, and then always growing up, and then Grimmy and I. Grimmy got his first dog, which she was called Puppy, and he was like, he couldn't think of a name, so he just Puppy, and then we shared her because.
Oh no, lovely. Is that what?
But essentially, it was his dog,
Yeah. But did Puppy inspire you to get Billy, another Jack Russell?
Well, no, because when she died, I was literally devastated, so heartbroken. And I remember then when Grimmy got Pig, I kind of was reluctant to bond with her because I just felt so heartbroken, and I did eventually, but. I was just so heartbroken. And then it was only when me and Mike got together and we'd look after Stinky. We'd look after Stinky a few times for Grimmy. And so we had that experience of having a dog together. And Stinky just loved Mike and obviously loved me because I'd known her since she was a tiny little thing. And we loved having her. And then Mike was like, oh, I think I'd like a dog. And I was, no, we're not getting a dog. I just didn't want to go through that heartbreak. I've gone through heartbreak all my life with dogs dying, my cat dying and all the rest. I just didn't want the responsibility. I didn't want the heartbreak. I didn't want the responsibility. And then a friend of ours, Mark Glenn, said, when you call someone by their surname all the time when you grow up, it's like at school, Mark Glenn. Mark Glenn, he basically, good pal of mine, known him for most of my life. Lovely guy, and he said, are you two still looking for a dog? And I said, well, I'm not looking for a dog. But Mike's kind of going, well, and he said, because I know someone who wants to rehome all his animals. He's got cats, show cats, and he's got a couple of dogs, and this one's a puppy, not quite one. And I was like, Mike's going. I said, okay. And he said, oh, he's a fox terrier, he said.
Right.
And then he said, do you want to meet? So we met at the Heath at Gospel Oak. He said, I'll come to Gospel Oak. I said, okay, because he was coming from Islington. So we met at Gospel Oak, and I said, well, he's not. So we met him. I said, he's not a fox terrier. He's a Parson Russell terrier.
Well, I think, to be honest.
Mark got it wrong. So we took him on the Heath.
Yeah.
And he'd never been in such open space before. And what was he like, Mike? He was just so bewildered by it all, right? He was so gorgeous. He just absolutely loved it. He was very, very shy with us and wasn't sure. Anyway, we said, we'll have him overnight. We got him overnight and we got him in bed with us, and he slept in between us all night.
Yeah.
And we absolutely fell in love with him, and he fell in love with us. And we had to take him back to Patrick, the owner. He was dying of cancer, this old guy.
So you did a sort of a sleepover.
Yeah, and
test.
I, straight away, and
Yeah.
Mike will remind me of this. When we first got him, I said to Mike, right, we'll just keep him overnight. Doesn't mean that we're keeping him. Doesn't mean the next day I was like, we've got to keep him. So we took him back to Patrick, or Mark picked him up. Patrick was an old guy dying of cancer. Now Patrick, a nice guy, fed him on raw. He fed him on raw food. He was very pristine with his diet, amazing. but he wasn't a cruel guy, but he wasn't an affectionate guy. So he was never affectionate with Billy. He was in the crate a lot, and he was an old guy. And if Billy wanted to jump on his knee, he would push him down.
Was he called Billy when you?
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. He actually called him Bailey, but then we found out that he wasn't the first owner. He took him in because a family had him first, and he. The little girl was allergic to him. So we're his third owners before he was even one.
Yeah.
So that's why he was insecure. So anyway, he called him Bailey, then we called him Billy. And but Patrick wasn't cruel by no means, but he wasn't affectionate. So when Mark took him back to Patrick, he wasn't bothered. He wanted to stay with us. He knew that we were
the people.
And he literally, I mean, if we're away from Billy for 5 minutes, he goes crazy over us. He apparently just didn't do anything when he saw Patrick. And then we got in, we paid Patrick £100, and the reason why Patrick wanted the money was only to make sure that we were serious and that we were good owners. And gave us his crate, which he loves. His crate, it's lined with sheepskin and fur and cashmere blankets. He's so spoiled, and he's got beds all over the place, as you know, and he just adored us and didn't want to leave our sight, and he found us. He found us.
I think that's the way it works, actually. It all happens timing, you know, the universe puts it. And you know, and it's good for you to have the commitment of a dog, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, without it, I don't think I'd get out of bed.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So it's the structure.
It's the structure.
Because when Molly passed, you know, my first bull terrier, you know, I derailed. I mean, you know, and I really did actually. I had a nervous breakdown.
I was like that with Poppy. I'm not going to lie. I don't blame you, babe. I don't blame you.
You know,
it's hard. It's your child. You're losing a child.
Years.
No, you're losing your child.
But it's, you know, but you've got to embark on the hair of the dog cure, which is what my dad always says. My dad really taught me everything about dog. Yeah.
But embark on the hair of the dog cure is as in getting another dog.
Yeah, it's the only cure.
Yeah, it's the only cure.
It's like taking, you know, the only medicine that's supposed to work is horrible tasting medicine, you know, and it's you take that bittersweet pill.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was just very reluctant after Poppy. I just like I don't want a dog.
Well, you want to live without a dog ever again, which is your choice. Yeah. But I feel you're missing out, and you're actually not doing justice to all the dogs that have gone before.
You're absolutely,
you know, because I mean, well, for me, dogs are part of my fabric. So, you know, because my upbringing around dogs so much that I don't like people enough. Is actually the truth.
Yeah, no, I prefer dogs over people.
You know, I really don't. I mean, that's it. I mean, I couldn't bear it. Actually, it's just.
No, I'm fond of the good human race.
And please leave that in, Mike.
Yeah. I'm fond of there's good humans out there, Annie.
There's a few.
There's quite a lot. There's quite a lot.
I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, so Poppy, so Poppy was a Jack Russell, as you know.
Yeah.
And I've had experience with Jack Russells over the years, and I love their temperament, but their temperament is a lot feistier. With the parson in Billy, his temperament is he's got that Parson's temperament, whereas he's a lot calmer. He's better with dogs. He's better with other animals.
I think every dog's an individual, Collette.
He is, but
I've known some very laid back Jack Russells.
True,
you know, but also some very hyper ones.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he hasn't got that. He hasn't got that Jack Russell sort of instinct when you see him with other animals, and he's very. Jack Russells are generally, you can generalise, are confrontational. He is so non-confrontational, like the Parsons. They're very non-confrontational, generally.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It's like humans, you know, you certain personality traits, and he's got that personality trait of a Parsons.
Yeah, it's 50-50 genes and nurture, in people as well.
Yeah, that's true.
When I was studying psychology, it was all about nurture.
Yes.
And people thought, no, you know, it's nothing to do with genes. But then, of course, you look at one of my old vets, we was talking here, twins, identical twins. And they couldn't be more different. Yeah. So they'd had exactly the same nurture.
I've seen a documentary on that, it's amazing.
Same home, same food, same school, same parents, same everything.
Yeah.
But they're two completely different personalities.
Because it's DNA.
So it's a combination, and how you recognise strengths and weaknesses in us all, in us. I mean, everyone.
Absolutely.
So I mean, no, it's brilliant, Collette. You know, I love it, and it's great. You know, I mean, rescuing, as we were just saying, with the soaring cost of living, I think Britain's going to enter a massive crisis with dogs. But you also,
that makes me sad.
You're an ambassador, aren't you, for Wild at Heart, which
Yes.
brings dogs in from overseas.
Yeah. We, to be quite honest, through the pandemic, we haven't done enough for them, I feel, as ambassadors. I've been speaking to, Nikki Tibbles, you've had her on the show.
Oh, I know Nikki, yeah.
And she's great, and we've been talking lately about putting on a concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which we will do, but at the moment
wow.
I'm also an ambassador for Nordoff Robbins Music Therapy, which I'm doing a concert for them at the moment, so I can't do everything at once, that's the thing. So
no, and there's so much to campaign for with dogs, because the other thing which I'm very on, and I know you are, is Camp Beagle.
Oh my God.
I know.
I went to a protest a few weeks back.
Did you? We've done a podcast,
God.
so everyone tune in. Can't remember what episode it is off the top of my head. But
Makes me sick.
I know.
Somebody said to me, you're an actor, could you go undercover? I would love to go undercover, and I'd be really good. However, I would probably murder someone, and I'd be in prison. I wouldn't be able to stand there and watch that. I would end up killing someone, God forbid me.
It's on so many levels, Collette. I mean, you know, a lot of these food firms.
Yeah.
They experiment on these dogs to eat their food. These dogs can be force-fed on these foods, so that they can make random claims like, "Oh, it's great for your skin and coat," but these dogs are in laboratories, basically.
I know. We're trying to be really conscious about everything now. Everything cruelty-free.
I mean, for me,
I've always done cruelty-free makeup and everything, but just everything, cleaning products. But sadly, even when you get the cruelty-free stuff, this is what f***s me off. So even like makeups that you get cruelty-free, however, as soon as they sell it in China, it's not cruelty-free. Even their product over here, if it's a British brand and it's all cruelty-free, but then when they want to sell it in the markets in China, they have to test it on animals. They won't sell anything in China unless it's tested on animals. So they send their products over there and then they test it on animals. So then I'm like, why are you even contemplating about selling your products in China? It makes me so angry.
Oh God, I don't, Collette, don't.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm with you on it. I find it absolutely repulsive.
It's don't boast about your products being cruelty-free when you're selling it in f***ing China.
Yeah, I mean, for my psychology degree, there was a part of it I couldn't do because it involved experimenting on animals. We're talking this in 1984. So, I mean, not in a horrible way. I wasn't, one was injecting anything, but it was the principle of it all. I mean, yes, it was going to be some behavioural studies, but you were using rats and mice to your own advantage, and I just didn't want to do that.
I remember at school,
and at biology, there was that dreadful exam, and I didn't do it. My dad went mental. I walked out. Where you had to dissect.
I had to do it in biology.
I didn't do it.
But I didn't do it. I didn't do it myself either.
And
everyone was laughing in the class, and
Oh
anyway.
gosh! Well, we're not going to put the world to rights, unfortunately.
No, but if we can try and be cruelty-free in everything we do, awareness, just be mindful and try. But like I said, even when you are buying stuff that's cruelty-free, the ingredients they're using isn't always cruelty-free. If it was just the whole thing was just banned, then there would be be easier for everyone. And obviously try and.
There's too much money in it, Collette. But on that note,
of course it is. Pharmaceuticals,
we'll put the world to right.
Yeah,
See you tomorrow evening.
Oh yes, I can't wait. What's your favourite cocktail?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I quite like a Moscow Mule.
A Moscow Mule. No, I know that you like an Alabama Slammer, because you had one at the play, which is Southern Comfort, which is amazing. They sponsored our play, by the way, and they're fantastic. It was Janis Joplin's favourite tipple, as it is mine, and I know you love it. So tomorrow we're going to make some Alabama Slammers.
Some Slammers, oh my.
Some Slammers, yeah.
All right.
70s cocktail. Lovely to see you. You look absolutely gorgeous.
No, Collette, you look amazing.
Are you joking?
Thank you
I've
for
got my Heath walking gear on.
And this has been lovely. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Lovely.
That's our show, Mr. Binks. What did you think? Yes, it really is amazing how many strong, successful women have been inspired by their dogs. And what's that? Yes, it is time for Woof of the Week. There's no doubt our dogs inspire us. So that's why it's so important to keep your dog healthy, so they can inspire you for as long as possible. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please rate and review the show wherever you tune into your podcasts. Thanks, of course, again to Collette Cooper, and all her links are in the show notes. Thanks, of course, also to Mike Hansen, my producer, for all the music and production as usual. Follow him and find out more about his company at Pod People UK. For me, I'm just at Anna Webb Dogs. What's that, Mr. Binks? Yes, you're right. We will be back in your feed next week, but for 1 week only, we will be a day early. That's because we've got a special double bill coming up on pet insurance. The first part airs next Saturday, the 27th of August, so make sure you look out for it. Or, better still, why don't you follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And that way, you'll never miss a show. Bye for now.